Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm here to talk to you about words and what they mean and how to use them in your everyday life. Structure them. How to use them in your everyday life and how to see them for what they are and not what you thought they were. Understanding the meanings behind these words so that you can have discernment, understanding, knowledge, where you can go about your life, everyday life, understanding it better. I do not speak for the intelligent nor the minority. I speak to everyone when it comes to words, because words is what you use every single day of your life. And if you are not able to understand these words, what happens is you are misguided, you are misled, you are confused, sometimes tricked because of it. Now I'm going to teach you words, certain words, give you explanations of these words so that you can understand them better and see them for what they actually are. They're not so much as, say, what's the right word? They're not so much as difficult, confusing, hard to understand. How I'm going to teach you these words is pretty simple. I'm going to do it in the most basic, easy, simplified way possible, where no one can be misled, meaning that everybody will be able to understand, including the ones that barely speak the language, meaning the ones that speak English as their second language, their third language. Shoot, not even at all, but just to communicate some. They understand the simplest words to actually go about. Now, I'm teaching you the English language for a reason, and it's simply because they use the English language as a worldwide language, meaning they expect of you to know this language. So if you are expected to know of this language, then why not understand it in the manner that you will be able to convey, understand, with less to any effort whatsoever. Now, if I start talking in a manner where it seems like I'm saying the word over once, twice, 3 times, just differently, there's a reason for that, and it's simply because everyone does not learn the same. That means when you know the word gossip, you don't understand that's also another word for news. If you don't know the word news, you then may understand the word grapevine. Or if you don't understand the word grapevine, you may understand it as snitch. But really and truly, all 4 of those words mean the actual same thing. Now, what I'm going to teach you is simply this. When I tell you all these words, I'm going to tell you how they all correlate and they all are the same word. There is no real difference to these words. The words are still all the same words, just used differently in content. How they use them in content is what confuses a lot, especially if you do not understand the word that is being used. So hence why when I speak in 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 times a word. And it's simply because I want to capture all the audience, not just 1, not just 2, but all of you. So if I'm able to explain it to you, give you examples, I'm not going to make this hard for you. So if I use these words, I am definitely going to give you examples of these words. When I give you the example of these words, then you could understand why I use these words. Now, when I use these words, I'm not going to use them in the manner that they are meant to be used, meaning in the dictionary wise or anything like that. I'm going to change it. I'm going to take it out of its box of the definition of what it means, and I'm going to put it somewhere else so you can see that it's still the same word. It's just not that word that they use in the dictionary to tell you it is. Now, when I'm done telling you this is how you're going to understand these words better. Not to get ahead of myself, I will also give you the words that help put spells on you. I will also give you the words like a lot of people have been talking about, like bless, meaning be less, or believe. That's just two. I could give you millions of them. But you'd have to get there first. Now, as I said, I'm going to teach you in a simple way, very basic, very easy. For me, this is the fastest way I can teach you. For me, this is the way that I know you all will be able to understand, and I know you all be able to get. Now, when I speak, I really speak really fast, ahead of even my words coming out of my mouth. So because of that, I had to come with a way of teaching you where I'm not thinking ahead of you. I'm teaching for you all to understand. Now, this way I came up with it was the simplest way I possibly could do it in the short amount of time that could make you learn. The way I came up with it is also a great way, because if you're going to school and you're a child, you will then also learn this information when you're going to school. So I give the lesson that I'm teaching where it could be taught within the school for your children. So kids understand the words so that when they do come out of school, they are able to correlate, understand, go out there with ease using these words. When they use these words now, they won't feel so lost when they go out into the world. Now, I've had kids and they would say certain things and I would explain something to them and they wouldn't understand what I meant. So because of it, I would have to give them another word for them to understand, for them to correlate, because most of the times when I would use a word, they wouldn't understand the word. Now, in their generations, the dictionaries have changed. So there's a lot of words they do not know. There's a lot of words they do not understand. There's a lot of words they haven't even heard of. So because of this and stuff like that, they have been limited to not really a lot of information in this concept. So because of it, I had to figure out a way to teach them these words and give them explanations for them to understand. And when I talk to people outside of my race that speak a different language, that English is not their first language, it's their second or third or fourth language, I'm able to correlate, show them in simplified words what it is they are trying to convey to me, because they don't have the information or the knowledge or the education to actually understand the words that they're trying to get out. So because of this, and because I understand words in this manner, it's not very hard for me to speak to a different race, a different person from a different culture. It wouldn't matter, because the fact that I'm able to break down these words that say they have a difficulty with. Now, I teach this because I don't think the English language is very difficult, nor do I think it's hard. I just think it's kind of, say, backwards or flip-flopped, upside down, kind of. Or I would say that some of the words are confusing, or some of the words mean something else and not necessarily what you think they mean, including what they mean in the dictionary itself. So there would be words in the dictionary that say certain things, but really and truly, those words don't actually mean that. They flipped it or manipulated per se, or they had set it up where you perceive it or had no idea that it's not the way you should actually see the word. So when I start to teach it and when I start to explain this stuff to you, you're going to understand it. Now, for all who's going through warfare, spiritual warfare and stuff like that, what I teach also helps you based off of words, because when you go through spiritual warfare, guess what it has to do with? Actually, words. Now, the words that are being used are the words that's most likely being the ones that are trying to mislead you, deceive you, trick you, confuse you. Now, these words that are manipulating, deceiving, trying to trick you, confuse you, manipulate you are everyday words that you would probably use all the time. You would hear them all the time, right? The thing is, when you hear them, you are thinking, oh, that's how the word is. But I'm going to teach you that that's not how the words are, and to see the words for what they really are and not for what they are trying to say they are, so that you understand it better. Now, I've never had a problem with understanding words ever in my life. I've always seen them for what they are. When I went through my spiritual warfare, I would say it was downright hilarious and funny to me, especially the attacks. And I can say this, and it's only because I'm aware of words and how words are. So if I'm going to teach anything, I might as well teach what I know about words and why it doesn't affect me, and why when you do magic and you play in my mind and you say certain things, why it doesn't work with me. It's simply because I understand words in a different way and not how you were taught it. Because of this is why when I got attacked, it would run through my mind, say about less than a minute. I'd hear it and I'd be like, beat it. And when I say beat it, it couldn't come back, because for me, those are weak tactics. And it's weak for me because of how I understand words. Now, everybody doesn't understand them as in the manner that I understand them. Hence why I'm going to teach you to understand them. I'm hoping I go by the guidelines. I don't see how I could actually fail and get reprimanded or in trouble with YouTube for my explanation of these words. I'm not trying to change them or their definitions of them. What I'm doing is showing you a different way to see them. And if you are able to see them in a different way, then you can understand where I'm going with this. Sorry. Excuse me, by the way. That is the proper way to answer to a person when they're sneezing, coughing. The actual way to say something to them is to excuse them, because it's something that they didn't do on purpose. You don't tell them to bless you. I've never heard that before. To me, I've never heard that. I've never heard that when you cough, you're supposed to say bless you. I've never heard that. For me, when a person coughs, it's automatically excuse you. So I don't understand why people are using bless as the word. That doesn't correlate to me anyways. Now, if it's a spell, I would say maybe. If it's a spell, I would tell you might be. Do you want me to like really get into deep? I think not. I can't do that right now. What I can do is simply this. If you pay attention to my lessons, if you decide that you want to hear more of what I have to say, then just like and subscribe. A matter of fact, if you want, you should even make comments. I welcome all comments. The comments will also help me be able to guide you better. For the ones that want assistance or wants to donate at this time, I take no donations at this time. I really don't care for it at this time. I'd rather be able to get this out more than hope for your donations. I don't really care about hoping for your donations. So there won't be nothing in the description box asking for donations at this time. As I said, I'm coming in this kind of late, and I really need to get the message out, and I want to do it in I won't say fast, but for me it's fast. To you it's going to be slow. To you it's going to seem like I'm slowly teaching you something, but I'm not. This is just a faster way for you to understand it. How I'm going to teach you is how you're going to understand it better. I look forward to hearing from all of you. Oh, and by the way, I go by the name Wise One Teach, and you can just call me Teach. If you don't want to call me Teach, you can just call me T. Thank you. Ugh.